guys. So I can't even believe that it's been almost 2 months since I quit my job on TV news and I decided to go full time on my YouTube channel. And someone that I wanted to kind of reflect on the past almost 2 months with is Farzad Mesbahi. He actually worked at Tesla for 4 years and he decided to leave almost a year ago. And he told me that I would start to notice some changes. I would start to feel different. And I have to say, I agree. So here's some of that reflection. And we just started going off on a tangent and also came up with kind of a problem that we might be seeing in the future. So I want to see if you agree with that in this conversation, but hopefully you enjoy it. So here we go. And I just want to go back to, you told me almost exactly 2 months ago now, because that's when I quit my job. My last day at my news reporting job was May 20th, and we're almost at July 20th. And you told me, after 2 months or so, you'd feel changed.
Mm,
And I've been trying to pin down, sorry, my cat is meowing at
it's
me.
all good.
It's so annoying. I've been trying to pin down, is that true? How do I feel? What do I feel? And I guess, off the bat, I feel like I never want to go back to a regular schedule working under someone else. I mean, I'm still figuring out the workflow of the YouTube and balancing having this flexible schedule, but not making it too flexible.
Yeah.
There's been like last month, for example, I had to travel a lot. And so that kind of threw me off a bit. I had to help my sister move to Missouri, but these are all temporary things. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to, I think that a lot of people want to be in the place that we're in, you and I,
Yes.
that we,
Yes.
are living this self-employed lifestyle. We have very flexible schedules and we're doing what we love. I love creating content. I don't feel like it's, a burden, or it's certainly not depressing like the news was.
Right.
So I guess, are these kind of some of the same things that you experienced?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think that conclusion for me that you reached of I never want to work for anyone else, regardless of how enticing that is.
Yeah.
That's something I felt around that time as well. That's something I felt around that time as well. And I think it speaks to just how amazing having flexibility and freedom actually is, and how much, just how impactful it is to know that you control your own destiny, either good or bad. Like, you
Yeah.
are in power of your future. 100%. It's not I hope I get picked for this promotion. I have to prove my worth in this way. I have to play
Right.
this game. I have to make this networking thing work. It's just, what can I do that people find valuable that also overlaps with my passion, you
Right.
know? And that is a very rare, amazing thing that we have the chance to do. We have the chance to do. So yeah, but again, it's hard for people to take that step because it is scary. I mean, I'm sure, so when you're trying to balance your schedule, right? Do you ever feel guilty that you're not working hard enough?
Yes, I was
Right?
literally just about to segue into, is there a guilt about, not being productive enough, or using your time flexibly because you can?
Right.
I'm not doing enough, and lately I've been trying to do more because now I'm back at home and I'm not traveling at the moment, and that's a lot easier to have a routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is this weird guilt. And then I just realized well, I am, I've thought this through, and I am in a stable place and I'm making good decisions and all that. So, I don't need to feel guilty if the first thing I want to do in the morning is go on a hike and then edit stuff when I get home. But that's
Right.
just so contrary to what everyone else. And it just makes me think wow, I don't miss that at all, and I also just feel like people are so unhappy, most people with their jobs, they're so unhappy. And they spend so much of their day dedicated to that. And then they're tired after work. They're maybe in a crummy mood. And it's just, I almost feel guilty too, that more people can't have this
I
privilege.
know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm just like,
100%.
because like the most finite and valuable thing we have is time, right?
Yeah.
And like I wish I would have done this sooner in my life. I see these like teenagers that are full-time TikTokers, or they're making it on the internet and whatever. Great for them. Like I just turned 30 and here I am. I almost like, I'm not retired. I'm certainly not retired, but it's like a totally different sense of work and what work even means. It's really weird.
You feel like a human being for the first time, probably. Like
Yeah.
the weirdness of being a person,
Yeah, I just
you
have so
know?
much like independence in my choices. And I think especially for me too, because I don't have a family yet and I'm single right now, I really just feel like, whoa, like
Right.
it's all me.
Yeah.
What do I?
You've optimized for having total freedom.
Yeah.
Like you're really not, it sounds like you're not really attached to any place, any person,
No.
and you're really embarking on a journey. You're really embarking on a journey that's going to allow you to maximize exactly what you want.
Right.
Okay. So like that in itself is incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And the guilt aspect of it. So my only advice there would be, again, I've been I've been doing this for what, 9 months or something, 10 months, however long it's been. And, I'm still learning every single day. It's a new thing for me, but my guiding principle has always been, if it makes you happy, just do that thing. If it's going on a hike in the morning and then waiting to edit until the nighttime or whatever, do that. If it's not even editing today because you feel kind of a little burned out and saving it for tomorrow, do that. Those moments of happiness, like the moments where you're most happy, is I think where your brain can really process what you're experiencing, and then it will help you outline your next steps.
I'm the most chill boss I've ever had.
Same.
Right. But
yeah.
I also feel like people might look at the outside and be like, whoa, Farzad worked for Tesla. How many people, would die to work for Tesla? Eliana was on the news. She was a news anchor. What? That sounds like a dream job. And it's just like, it's so crazy that even though those were amazing positions, like we both agree, there's just nothing compares to building your own brand. And like, really, I mean, YouTube, I don't think some people that are YouTubers will understand it as a business, but people on the outside, they're like, oh, you have a channel, that sounds like a fun little hobby, but it's a business, and I love that I've had the flexibility. For example, I amazingly got an invite to the shareholder meeting, and I can go.
I saw. Congratulations.
And not be worried about the time off. That was the whole plan, is that I need to be, completely available for whatever, whenever. When Starship launches, whenever the hell that is, I need to be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in these long, almost 2 months that I've been doing YouTube, it hasn't been long at all. But for example, like, if I go to a fast food place, for example, which I don't do a lot of, by the way, side note, but if I do, and I notice someone and they're crabby to me and, they're not maybe giving me the best service, I've noticed this compassion, because I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to be doing this job for whatever wage they're getting paid. Like, I kind of understand maybe why they don't want to do this. And I'm not saying like people should get bad customer service, but I think that especially like, at least what we did, was probably better than working, in fast food or something. And someday with TeslaBot or something similar, we won't have to have people do that. But I feel like there are so many jobs out there that just are a waste of time.
I think it's a very complex. I think there is definitely a percentage of people that would be encouraged to sort of follow the path we have. But I think if you're talking about fast food, you're talking about like warehouse worker, or call it the sort of the 50% of jobs that make the world go around.
Right.
But it's very kind of like, it's a survival job. Like, you have it because you have to have it to pay the bills and live not even a decent life, but a life where you can like live somewhere and eat some food. You know what I'm saying? Like that is it's a percentage of the population that is, I think, like almost trapped. They're almost trapped in this situation. And why wouldn't they be upset about that? Like, I would be upset about that. I'll be freaking, I'm so blessed and lucky to be where I'm at. But like what you said, like you have a lot more empathy and more compassion for those people. Like it's hard. It's almost heartbreaking to see it, because I'm like, why? How come I have this and you don't? Like, literally the only reason why I have what I have is because of the chances that I had in my life, and sort of the pathway that I was able to navigate. If you were in my position, I feel like you probably would have had the same exact thing. So like the question becomes, how do we increase the number of people that are able to take advantage of going on their own and carving their own path, and not feel like they have to take a job just to survive? That is the question for the next 80 to 100 years. And there's been a lot of solutions that have been sort of brought forward, at least in some sort of hypothetical manner. But it's a hard one. It's a really hard one. And that's something I think about all the time. Go ahead.
But we're going to see a major shift once we have more automation, where there will be, some of these menial jobs that are filled. But what are those people going to do?
Exactly. I have a fear about that. My fear is, what are we talking about right now that's guaranteeing that we have those other jobs there for those people to take, or some sort of industries for that arise or are built around that time frame? And then if you think about the number of jobs that are going to be, say, displaced or removed because of automation, how fast is that number going to go up where the automation takes over? And how fast are the new jobs that are going to come up that hopefully are better? How fast is that going to go up? And if this one's going up faster than that one, you're going to have a bunch of displaced people that are going to be very, very upset, because they had that job just to survive, and now they can't even survive. Where are we now?
10 years, I bet UBI, especially if, like I said, if we have more automation, I think UBI, universal basic income, will just have to happen on some scale.
We'll have to do something.
Yeah.
We'll have to do something. I think education is a huge part of it too.
Right.
I think ensuring that people have the right tools to even, like, there's a lot of people out there that don't even know how to use the internet to this day. There's a lot of people that don't know how to use the internet, like to actually fully take advantage of the opportunities that the internet can give you. Very few people actually know how to leverage that. So, and how much of our education system is actually built around building businesses, managing finances, being innovative, thinking critically, solving problems. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a lot, It's a gigantic problem. Now, the positive on the AI side is that as we start going into automation, it's going to start really bringing these problems forward. Right. These have been sort of lurking under the surface.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be brought forward. But my prediction is it's going to get extremely ugly. Like, it's going to get really, really weird until we get to a point where more and more people are able to live in an age of plenty, in an age of abundance, instead of an age of scarcity, which is what we have now, scarcity.
Yeah, seriously, especially.
Sorry, I don't want to sound like a bummer, but this is a hard problem. This is a hard problem. I don't think anybody's talking about it. Not enough people are talking about it, rather.
What specifically being a hard problem?
Once the advent of robotics and AI takes hold and jobs actually start leaving, like, what are we going to do about, like, people are like, well, new jobs will come up, new jobs will be created. Okay, cool. That's been true in the past. But if you have a force of robotics and AI, like, past performance is not indicative of future behavior. We've seen, how many times have we said this in the world of Tesla? Why wouldn't this apply to the age of automation? Something like this has never happened before, where you can have literally millions of jobs disappear overnight because of robotics and AI. There has to be something on the other side where people are able to build that gives them not just something to work towards, but an income and to be able to survive. Like, how are we going to solve that problem?
I wonder who would be a good person to talk to about that. That's a really interesting, especially because so much of it is just, it lies in the future. There's only so much we can predict.
There was one person that was running for president. He's a little bit polarizing, but Andrew Yang was one of the people that was like really starting to drive that conversation. The UBI guy. Yeah. A lot of people don't like him. I don't know why, but it is what it is. I thought him bringing up the conversation was extremely important. And I think yeah, I mean, I think anybody in Elon's circle that's working on robotics, automation. I know Lex Friedman has a bunch of people on his podcast that talk about robotic and
Right.
automation, and but how it links up to the rest of the population and how it's going to disrupt population, I have no idea. I have no idea who would be a good candidate, but yeah.
So yeah, overall, I feel great. It has been definitely a transition to be my own boss, but I am so glad that I made this decision and I'm just so excited for the future. I have full flexibility on the trips that I need to take. I'm going to Austin, Texas next month. I'm actually going to go to Vegas next week. I'm going to try to get a ride on the Vegas Loop, so stay tuned for that. But it has just been a dream to be 30 years old and really truly take life into my own hands with this new adventure. So thank you to everyone who has supported me along the way. And I have no doubt that you are going to see Ellie in Space just grow exponentially over the next year.